The rain fell on Metropolis like 1,000 tiny accusations, each drop hitting the pavement with a sound like static. Across from the monolithic gray fortress of the 12th Precinct, Sarah Johnson stood still, a silhouette against the bruised dawn. Her breath fogged in the cold air. The building loomed, its windows dark eyes, the flag a soaked, heavy rag. It was a place that had swallowed hope for 20 years. She touched the small, warm locket at her throat, feeling the ghost of a smile within. "For you, Mikey," she whispered, the words stolen by the wind. Then she moved, crossing the street with a soldier's stride, the automatic doors sliding open with a sigh that sounded like the beginning of everything. The lobby was a cage of fluorescent light and stale aggression. Behind the tall desk, Officer Leo Torres slurped coffee, a vein ticking in his thick neck. He didn't look up as she approached. "Officer, I need to see the mayor." His eyes, bloodshot and dismissive, slid over her coat, her face, her skin. A smirk. "Mayor's office is downtown. Beat it." "He's here for the 7 a.m. briefing. I need to see him now." The mug slammed down, coffee sloshed. The sound echoed in the suddenly quiet space. Two officers by the water fountain paused. One was Officer Amy Parker, her intelligent eyes darting, hands twisting together. "Listen, lady," Torres said, his voice a low growl. "I don't know what kind of welfare line you jumped, but the mayor doesn't meet with trash off the street. Get your ghetto backside out of my lobby before I have you removed." The air grew thick, charged. Sarah didn't blink. Her calm was a deep, placid lake over a raging underground river. "Call him, tell him Sarah Johnson is here." Torres laughed, a harsh, barking sound meant to humiliate. "Oh, I'll call someone. Security." Two hulking guards stepped forward, hands on batons. Amy Parker's face paled. Sarah watched them, then with a slowness that was pure, terrifying control, reached into her jacket. Torres' smirk widened, anticipating a weapon, an excuse. But her hand emerged with a single, folded sheet of crisp paper. The city seal glinted gold. "Officer Leo Torres, badge number 4857. Her voice didn't rise, it sharpened, a blade being unsheathed. "I am your new police chief." Silence, absolute, the words hung, vibrating in the stale air. Torres' laugh died. His eyes darted. Above them, a security camera's red light blinked, steady, relentless. "Police chief, you." Laugh that followed was forced, booming, a performance. He slapped his knee, looking for an audience. "You hear this? This monkey thinks she can waltz in here with fake paper. Look at her." A few nervous chuckles. Amy didn't laugh. She stared, transfixed by Sarah's stillness. Torres snatched the paper. His lips moved as he read. The words reflected in his widening pupils. Appointment of Chief of Police, Sarah Johnson. Mayor Elias Richardson, his face mottled from red to purple. "This is a forgery. A pathetic ghetto forgery." His thick fingers tightened. The rip was obscenely loud, one long tear down the center. He tore it again and again, the pieces fluttering to the scuffed linoleum like dead butterflies. "Nice try, now get out." "That was an official municipal document," Sarah said, her voice calm and deadly. "You just committed a federal offense, Officer Torres." He stepped into her space, coffee breath hot on her face. "You know what's an offense?" "A lying piece of street trash disrespecting real cops. In my house." His eyes flicked to the duty roster on his desk, a puzzle of messy ink, strange gaps, ghost names. "Johnson, Martinez, drag this bitch out. If she resists, use force." The guards hesitated. They looked at the paper fragments, at her impossible calm. Then a new sound, clicking. The deliberate, measured click of expensive leather soles on hard flooring from the stairwell. All heads turned. Mayor Elias Richardson descended, silver hair gleaming, eyes like glacial ice. Two councilmen followed. The laughter died. Postures snapped straight. Torres' face drained of color, leaving blotchy red patches. Sweat beaded on his temple. "Officer Torres, is there a problem?" "Sir, this woman disturbance, fake document," he stammered, his voice cracking. The mayor's gaze swept past him, landed on Sarah on the paper snow at her feet. "I see you've already met some of your staff, Chief Johnson." The word chief was a gavel strike. The lobby became a tomb. Torres' knees wobbled. Sarah finally moved, bending gracefully to retrieve a fragment. "No need to apologize, Mayor Richardson. This has been quite educational." "Educational?" Torres squeaked. Sarah's eyes swept the room, memorizing every face. "Yes, I've learned exactly what kind of department I'm inheriting in the first 90 seconds. Her gaze locked onto the duty roster. She walked to it, picked it up. "You were scheduled for days yesterday, 7 to 3, yet you clocked out at 11:47 p.m. She looked at the mayor. "The overtime budget here is 200% over. I'd like to know what they've been doing." A frantic, heavy breathing drew their eyes upward. On the balcony, Director Robert Hayes of Internal Affairs stood, ghost white, a sheen of sweat on his forehead. He looked like a man watching his own coffin being built. "Director Hayes, how timely," Sarah said. He forced a smile, descending quickly. "Chief Johnson, a misunderstanding. Let's discuss this in my office, privately, away from this drama." His eyes darted to the cameras, to Amy's phone. "The drama seems to be public record," Sarah said. Then she turned, her voice rising to command the room. Effective immediately, this precinct is on lockdown. No one in, no one out. All patrols recalled. All communications logged. Murmurs of protest. Sergeant Mills, a grizzled 25-year veteran, stepped forward. You can't do that. We have a city to protect. Right now, I'm protecting this city from this precinct, Sarah fired back. This is a crime scene. You're all material witnesses. She looked at Amy. Officer Parker, security footage from that camera last week, on the main screen now. In the briefing room, the monitor flickered to life. Grainy, time-stamped footage played. Monday, a black cleaning woman, terrified, fleeing Torres, shouted abuse. Tuesday, an elderly black man with a cane shoved, stumbling. Wednesday, a black teenager slammed against a wall. 5 incidents, 5 victims, all black, all within morning hours. The silence was deafening. Amy, her face green, pulled out her phone, hands trembling. I've seen things for 2 years. She connected it. The screen showed older, grainier footage, Torres at Chen's grocery, taking a thick envelope from a terrified Mrs. Chen. In the background, leaning against a car, watching with a satisfied smile, Hayes. I recorded because I was scared, Amy cried, her voice gaining strength. Scared to report it to Internal Affairs because Internal Affairs was the corruption. Hayes's face turned to stone. You little snitch, Torres snarled from his chair. Sarah stepped between them and Amy. Officer Parker's career is just beginning. Director Hayes, you're relieved. Sergeant Mills, put him in a room. Mills hesitated. Chief, Hayes has friends, powerful friends. So do I, they're called the citizens, Sarah said, her moral authority absolute. Now do your job. As Hayes was led away, Sarah placed a steadying hand on Amy's shaking shoulder. It takes more courage to record the truth than to live the lie. Thank you. Amy broke into sobs of relief, the first crack in the fortress wall. Hours bled into the night. In a small office buried in paper, a gentle knock. William, the janitor, with his gentle eyes and worn uniform, offered a thermos of real coffee. You see things cleaning at night, he said softly. He placed an old flash drive on the desk. They delete files, I saved things, never knew who to give them to, till today. The drive held folders, Hayes meetings, council payments. Sarah opened one. Clear audio, Hayes and City Councilman Richards counting cash. Richards' voice, the program keeps the market in line, keeps property values up. A little fear is cheaper than social programs. Hayes, Torres is a blunt instrument, but effective. Just keep the overtime approvals coming. Sarah's hand clenched, a 20-year systemic shakedown. Why risk this? She asked William. My grandson, he's 16, wants to be a cop. I couldn't let him put on a badge in this. You gave me a reason to hope. At dawn, she assembled the weary precinct. Laid it bare, the journal, the footage, the financials, over 12 million stolen. The human cost incalculable. She announced the widening net. Sergeant Mills stepped forward again, 4 veterans flanking him. You're tearing a family apart, he roared. A family built on theft and fear is a gang, Sarah shot back. That theft put my daughter through college, Mills yelled, pointing at Officer Bryant, who stared at the floor. It paid for Bryant's wife's cancer treatments. You take that away, what are we? You took blood money from people who had less. Sarah's voice cracked the air. You terrorized them for your mortgage. Mills's hand went to his weapon. We're not letting you destroy our lives. Stand down. The room split, younger officers behind Sarah, veterans behind Mills, a powder keg. Then Amy stepped into the no man's land, her voice shaking but clear. My parents ran Kim's dry cleaners in the market. We paid Torres $300 every month. Protection. My father had a stroke from the stress. He died thinking the police were criminals. She played a recording from her phone, her father's scared voice. Amy, just give him the envelope. Don't make trouble. Tears streamed down her face. You paid for your daughter's college with my father's life, so no, Sergeant, we won't stand down. Mills's defiance shattered. His shoulders slumped. Slowly, he unclipped his badge, placed it and his gun on the floor. The others followed. The old family was broken. 1 week later, sunlight in the market district. Sarah and Amy walked the beat. At Chen's grocery, Mrs. Chen shrank back at the uniform. Sarah took off her hat. This is for every payment you were forced to make, she said, handing over a restitution check. She gestured. Officer Bryant stepped forward, his face ravaged with shame, holding flowers. Mrs. Chen, I knew. My silence paid for my wife's medicine. I am so sorry. He bowed his head, weeping. Mrs. Chen took the flowers, nodding once not forgiveness, but a first acknowledgement. That night, alone in her apartment, the weight crushed Sarah. She held the locket, opening it to her brother Michael's smiling face. Flashback, their porch, sun-drenched laughter, Michael wanting to change the world. Flashback, a grainy video call, Michael scared. They keep hassling me, Sarah, the cops, just for being black on my own block. Flashback, news footage, a cell phone video. Michael filming, arguing with an officer, a younger, furious Torres. A struggle, a gunshot, Michael falling, Torres' panicked voice. He went for my gun. Sarah sobbed, a raw, guttural sound held in for years. Her pain had a name, her dream had a face. Torres' first cover-up was her reason for being. Later, Amy found her at the precinct, bringing food. You knew about your brother. Sarah nodded, exhausted. The file was buried. Justified shooting. I joined the army, the FBI, all to get here. Desk to him. It's not just vengeance. No, it's for every Michael that came after. A comfortable silence. Then Amy reached over, brushing a tear from Sarah's cheek. A look passed between them, a romance of shared purpose, of healing, of chosen family. A crash. The fire alarm blared, smoke under the evidence room door. Hayes on bail in a final, desperate act. They fought the fire together, emerging soot-streaked, saving the evidence. The past tried to burn, but failed. Montage, the courtroom. Torres, Hayes, Richards in orange. Sarah's steady testimony. Amy's videos. Mrs. Chen's quiet, powerful impact statement. The gavel falling, decades in prison. Sarah at Michael's grave, placing the locket on the stone. It's done, Mikey. Rest now. 6 months later, the precinct lobby was bathed in sunlight. The bulletproof glass was gone, replaced by an open welcome counter. Deputy Chief Amy Parker, in a sharp new uniform, helped an elderly woman with a form, smiling. In the courtyard, young, diverse recruits trained. Among them, William's grandson and Mrs. Chen's daughter. At a community barbecue, laughter mingled with grill smoke. Sarah in civvies flipped burgers with Officer Bryant, now head of community relations. Amy joined her, handing her a soda. We did it. Sarah watched the vibrant scene, her hand touching the locket now worn openly on her shirt. They did it. We just opened the door. She smiled, a real, warm, peaceful smile. The scar of pain remained, but the wound was finally closed. The fortress was now a home. The end was a beginning.